What's up, everybody? Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook, back with you once again for the final week of the season as we take a look at the Ivy League football schedule for week number 10. And there's a lot to get into in this final episode here because we have a lot to play for on the final week of the regular season on the gridiron. But as always, we love to start by taking a look at the Ivy League standings. And as you can see, there are two teams right now that are in play today for this week for the Ivy League title, and that's Dartmouth and Princeton. Now, as you know, Dartmouth has a head-to-head matchup over Princeton, beating them a couple of weeks ago, but they can still win a share of the Ivy League title. Princeton can, if they are able to knock off the Penn Quakers. But it's been a fantastic season so far in the Ivy League this year, and as we get to some of the games on the schedule, we'll start with one of those football teams in play for the Ivy League crown this weekend, and that's Dartmouth as they take on the Brown Bears. Now, Dartmouth has won 3 games straight. Heading into this ball game, they're playing on fire on both sides of the ball, and it's going to be up to Brown's defense once again to get key stops. If they can't get stops, it's going to be an issue. We've seen this team do things like this before. They've played well up front. They've been able to get pressure. If they can continue to do that against a very good point of attack team like Dartmouth, it goes a long way in helping the Brown Bears pull off the upset. So we'll see how it all plays out there on the field. Next up, we have the game, which is one of the best college football rivalries in the country, and that involves Harvard versus Yale. Now, Harvard is coming to this ball game on a 2-game winning streak, and we know that running game with Aaron Shamplin and Aiden Bourget is one to deal with out there on Saturdays, and it has given opponents problems all season long. With that duo rushing the football, it makes them very hard to defeat. Yale is coming in, playing some really good offense. Last week, they ran out of gas in the second half offensively. They hope that's not the case in this ball game against Harvard. I expect this one to come down to the wire like all of these games do because these are two outstanding offenses, and you have a last game of the season situation. Should be a fantastic matchup. Next up, Columbia takes on Cornell, and the Lions looked impressive defensively last weekend. I thought they did a great job versus Brown, slowing down that offense. We know Brown can put the ball in the paint multiple times in the course of a ball game, but they were outstanding on both sides of defense, stopping the run and eliminating the big plays in the passing game. Now, for Cornell in this ball game, they want to close out the season on a high note. We've seen this team do it before. We saw it earlier in the year against Colgate. We also saw them do a great job in a game against Penn. So we know this team can get it done. They want to close out on a winning note. We'll see if they can get it done today against a team like Columbia. And lastly, we have the Princeton Tigers taking on the Penn Quakers, and the Tigers are looking for their share of the Ivy League crown, a split championship in the Ivy League if they're able to get the win against the Penn Quakers. I love how they were able to rebound since their loss versus Dartmouth. This is one of the best football teams in the FCS, and Bob Sweary's had himself a really good year with this Tigers football team. If you're Penn, it's the last game of the season. They've been close all throughout the year, so it wouldn't surprise me to see a ton of trickery in this ball game from the Quakers. Open up the playbook, let it all hang out for this final game, and just see how it ends up being on the scoreboard. So I expect a fun game in this one and all throughout the Ivy League in this final week of the season, week number 10. So that's it for this edition of the Ivy League football preview. I am Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. I want to send a special shout out to all of you guys for watching the previews each and every week to check in on Ivy League football action. And for more Ivy League football content, keep it locked here on ESPN+.